TeachMeGrappling.com here. We're going to show you a throw, a counter to a single leg, and the throw is called Sumi Gaeshi in judo, but it's common also in wrestling and in nogi. This is the version that you probably want to use. The opponent picks up a single leg, drives in. My foot's going to be between the legs, and then the opponent's going to have his hands locked. Now, he'd like to have his outside hand on top. That would be his left hand on top. Sometimes the lock is sticking out like this. If it's placed behind the knee, it's actually a little bit better. But a lot of people hook the arm or the leg with their arm like this. Makes it easy to grab. Notice how I grip the wrist. I'm going to move his head down and try to trap it underneath my chest, my stomach area. I'm going to grab a hold of his lat with my right hand, hooking my fingers in the armpit, elbow down, and then my left foot is going to be able to balance. I'm going to base on my base leg, and I'm going to hop my left foot close to him. So as I hop close to him, I want to turn my toes and point them more or less towards his direction. And I'm going to push hard with the wrist and then pull hard on the lat and basically take him for a ride. When you end up here, keep a hold of the wrist and then his head. It can kind of end up in different places, but if his head's there, you get a nice little shoulder smash with the crossface. And then you can come on top, get side control, and have your control. So, again, the opponent shoots an outside single, head on the inside single. He drives up in. He's got his hands locked. I take the lat grip, drive his head down, grab a hold of the wrist. Make sure you don't grab this wrist. You want to grab that wrist that is wrapped from underneath your leg. You actually want to connect it around your leg. And then basically take a step forward and launch him. Shoulder into his neck or his face. And then even right here, if I lost his lat, just showing how I can control with the wrist and then come on top. I'm going to show you another finish right here. It's basically the same throw, but with this finish, I'm going to go towards the mount. So in this case, I'm going to backward roll over my right shoulder, grabbing his wrist. Again, my right foot is going to help kick him over. I hop forward, and then as I lift him, pull with the lat. Okay, I could come up into side control like I just showed a second ago, but in this case, instead, I still have his wrist. I'm just going to kick my legs over my head and backward roll. Now watch the right foot. The right foot was the leg that was between his legs. It's going to move to the mount, and then as you come up on top, establish your control. You may end up with a triangle variation from the mount, depending on whether his arms stay in the same position. So again, he shoots a single leg, head on the inside, so I jam the head down, take the lat grip, take the wrist, hop forward, and backward roll, basically to the mount. You notice how his arm is trapped between the legs. So we're going to show you some full speed versions. I'm just going to kind of flow and show a lot of variation. So again, he's coming in kind of quick. You want to hop forward, take advantage of his momentum coming forward, and take him for a ride. Jam that head down. You really want to get that head trapped. You know, the higher his head, the more his base may be a little bit better. Notice every time I'm jamming on the head when the opponent shoots. You want to bury the opponent's head when they shoot. You don't really want him to have good head position, so you want to jam that head down, get his head out of position, take control of the lat, take control of the wrist, take him for a ride. So it's pretty simple throw. I didn't learn this early in my wrestling. I learned it actually later on when I was getting more into Jiu-jitsu and judo. But I wish I had it, when I was wrestling. Probably could have used it quite a bit. It's become one of my favorite throws to do. And in upcoming videos, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use it as a sweep on the mat. But for now, we're doing it standing. Again, rolling right over to the mount. Ronda Rousey actually just had her fight with Miesha Tate, the second fight in the UFC, and she pulled off Sumi Gaeshi, but she did it with more or less a body lock. Her hands wrapped around the waist, locked around the waist, and she did it. Here's a few more variations showing how you can go into an armbar. So this variation is a little tough, this finish. It's not really all that easy to get. It just depends on the situation. Sometimes when you take them up in the air, if you practice this enough and you drill it enough, you can flow right into that armbar. So here it is again. Jam that head down, everything's the same, except when I land, I basically stay on my butt. And then his arm, since his arm is grabbing a single leg, it's right between your legs. So you want to take advantage of that. Okay. So here it is one more time on the armbar. Control the wrist, take him over, flow right into it. You just got to train it. And now I believe I'll show a couple other variations. Because his arm is between your legs, just having fun with it right here, showing you different ideas as I roll. Actually, one more armbar there. So on the next one, I believe I'm going to show an omoplata, rolling into an omoplata and some triangle variations. Guess I did more than I realized. So as you come up, there's a little forward roll, rolling into the cruciplata. If you haven't checked out that video, check that one out. Again, it's more or less fancy. I don't really expect to get these types of finishes very often, but you know, when you practice and flow enough, you got your back step triangle. You should always know this situation off of when you come up on omoplatas. You should always have a back step triangle in your back pocket. So, and this position's pretty much identical. So it's similar to when you come up off of the omoplata. You can back step, catch the triangle right here, lock everything up. It's nice to get a throw and then flow right into a submission. Sometimes a guy is so disoriented, he may not know exactly where he is at that moment, and in the scramble, he may make a big mistake. Here's a top mount with the triangle, but I switched to an omoplata, and then with a little crossface neck crank. Again, some of those things may not be legal in tournaments, but it's all good to me. Here it is again. Back step triangle. Right into it, lock it up, and close everything out. Last time we'll show you a little slow motion with the backward roll. So hope all of you guys subscribe. Hope you like the video. I'm going to come out with more in the future. Thank you guys so much, all the new subscribers. Please keep watching. Thank you. Teach Me Grappling.